Hey guys, this is the LarryBoy Fanatic, and welcome back to the LarryBoy Fanatic review special, LarryBoy Purgatory. Last time we covered the first half of the Not LarryBoy episodes, which were 6 episodes. Today we'll be looking at the second half of LarryBoy Purgatory. So, what's next on the list? Wow, Larry has a part-time job at Pa Grape's store now? Well, I don't see why not. Someone has to pay the bills to the... what do you call that house that they share with Bob? Yeah, by now we know that Larry shares a house with Bob. Anyway, back to the story. Get this, Moe Tato gets sentenced by Mayor Archibald to work at that same grocery store. You know where this is going. As you can imagine, at first, they don't want to work with each other. There's even a point where Larry wants to get LarryBoy involved in this, but Pa Grape tells him otherwise. It's like, y'all gotta work together, he kinda sorta says. But then it turns out that it goes well. I mean, at first, Larry and Moe Tato goof off like in the store, but then Larry catches on that he has to do his job. Well, Larry's hard work pays off, but Moe Tato still insists on being an idiot on the job. Yeah, this was how I lost friends in high school, because I pulled my own weight at school while everyone else just slacked off in class. I'm telling you, it was dumb back then. Very, very dumb. High school was whack, especially if you were me, because I studied and worked hard while people were annoying. True story. So the lesson is that if you work hard, you would get promoted. Yeah, that's a legit lesson. Thanks, guys. But oh no, Moe Tato wants to get him fired. Only to get himself fired. That was pointless. And then the episode ends with Moe Tato getting arrested because he wasn't doing his job, and the cop car floats away for some reason at the end. I don't know. But seriously, a flying car? That is all. Here's a good question. How did Laura Carrot decide to cosplay as a superhero based on ponies? Well, it turns out that Granny from the episode Ready for Action was once a ninja. Yeah, Granny used to be a crime fighter, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I can't remember much of the dialogue that was exchanged between Granny and Laura, but basically it's like, oh, back in my day, I used to be a ninja, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we get it. But then, oh no, Moe Tato wants to kidnap all the grannies in town so that he can force them to be his kitchen slaves or something. Honestly, that's a ridiculous plan for a villain. LarryBoy would be pissed right now if he knew about it. But he and Junior Jetpack are too busy chasing cardboard Moe Tato decoys. So he's not. So what happens? Granny gets kidnapped and her cat goes to tell Laura because earlier Laura didn't think that she could be a ninja. Oh wait, there's another part where Archie gives her a little morale, which is exactly like the scene in the League of Incredible Vegetables where he gives Junior morale by singing a song. I mean, was that really necessary to repeat something as stupid as wearing a hat and having a cane to sing and dance with? Look, dude, I don't care if you have another song. We'll pass. Conveniently, Laura finds Granny's old superhero costume and then heads to Moe Tato's lair. Wait, what? No training montage? How does she even know what to do or how to fight? Oh yeah, and she gallops whenever she runs. Go figure. The fight scenes in this episode are okay, but not really action-packed. But hey, there's another superhero to add to the convoluted league of superheroes that Veggietales in the House gives us. By the way, LarryBoy and Junior go to see Moe Tato only to find that he's already been captured.
Who is this night pony? Who?
Oh, don't worry, LarryBoy. She's not really that important. By the way, the transition to the last scene was dumb. So, moving on. The Tachosaurus. No, doesn't scare me at all. Of all the episodes in LarryBoy Purgatory, when it comes to monsters, this episode had a legit monster in it. However, this episode is still because you have a monster that takes things without asking. I mean, is that really supposed to scare me? The Fib from Outer Space called. He said that you're not scary enough. Wait, how would you know, Fib? The bad apple is scarier compared to both of you. Okay, the plot is that Moe Tato spies on people who are being nice, and then he decides to summon the Tachosaurus, who eventually steals his mustache in the process. Well, that was pointless. Summoning a monster that was gonna screw you over at a drop of a hat. By the way, bowling alleys grow from seeds? I know. So with the Tachosaurus going on a rampage, Bob convinces Larry to change into LarryBoy. Unfortunately, the Tachosaurus breaks into their house and then the Larry cave, stealing all the LarryBoy stuff that Larry needs. No, writers of this episode. No. How many times do I need to say no to you, writers? That's not how anything is supposed to be. And then they make a joke about Netflix. I mean, fine, but not earned. So everything else in this episode is just a wandering plot with no LarryBoy, no real message other than stealing is wrong, and no substance. Because there's no LarryBoy. Oh yeah, and Tachosaurus' mom grounds him for stealing. Okay, question. Did the rumor weed come back as a watermelon? Well, whatever. Let's move on to the next abomination. Okay, if you thought that the starved for attention episode of Veggietales in the House was annoying, well, this isn't gonna be any better. I would say that this is the middle finger of the bunch in LarryBoy Purgatory. It's that same idiot producer guy trying to interview LarryBoy. But LarryBoy decides to take refuge at Jimmy and Jerry's house, and for some stupid reason, Jimmy decides to impersonate LarryBoy because, I don't know, people believe everything they hear on TV, I guess. But there's just one problem, guys. Aren't these people aware of identity theft? And that's exactly what's going on in this scenario, and I really hate that. And to make matters worse, as well as test my patience, people believe that Jimmy is LarryBoy because it was on the news, and then no one believes LarryBoy because this asshat TV producer says that he knows a superhero when he sees one. No, you clearly don't. If the people on this production were like, none of this makes sense and this is gonna anger the audience, then this is where it happened. But you can tell that nobody in making this episode was like, hey, people won't like where this story is going. No, put it in. We need to continue making Jimmy Boy's origin story. Yeah, this is me whenever I see another disappointing episode where LarryBoy gets a backseat in the story. Yeah, I've never seen him this mad before. Okay, maybe. Then Jimmy and Jerry are captured. I just hate this episode. Can we move on now? Oh wait, and this episode was directed by Tim Hodge, the same guy that directed LarryBoy and the Bad Apple. A much better LarryBoy story. Why, Tim? Why? Oh god, there's another part to this. After all the BS, LarryBoy still invites Jimmy to become a superhero. So the message is that if you lie to people about who you are, which he publicly did, and if you sacrifice nothing, do nothing, then you can become a superhero too. But seriously, can we move on now? Good. We're now in season 4 territory. I'm so tired. Now this one somehow got me out of my anger from the Jimmy Boy episode. But don't worry, LarryBoy is not in this episode. Oh, I'll tell you why. As soon as Moe Tato wreaks havoc on the Veggie town or whatever you want to call it, and there's an urgency to get LarryBoy, this story had the audacity to have the character say that the LarryBoy costume is at the cleaners. Guys, you have a pretty good setup. Moe Tato is a giant because of his growth ray, and y'all can't just run to the dry cleaners to get Larry's costume? This is not only mind-blowing, but it's also horrible. Now here's a fun fact. The growth ray looks exactly like the shrink ray in the Shrink-a-Beezer episode. Actually, it is the shrink ray. They just put a growth ray feature on it. So technically this makes this episode a sequel to Shrink-a-Beezer, which is a legit LarryBoy episode. So it's still a crime that LarryBoy is not utilized in this episode. So Bob and Larry team up to stop Moe Tato by somehow growing their own toy robot to fight him.
Wow, I'm real impressed.
Yeah, even some of the characters are starting to catch on that this is far from interesting. Not to mention the fight scene isn't that good either. They just flail around on a robot. Hey, the Fit from Outer Space called again. He said that you're not being destructive enough as a giant monster. 0 out of 10, Moe Tato. You know, that would make total sense if the Fib was the one that's doing all this destruction and not Moe Tato. Yeah, we should totally... Can we replace Moe Tato with the Fib? There we go. Yeah, show him how it's done, Fib. Thank God we're almost done, because here's our last episode. Now this one... sorry guys, I'm so tired. LarryBoy Purgatory has almost drained me of my energy. Anyways, in this episode, Moe Tato wants to go on vacation, so he decides to camp out on Beezer's lawn. Really? You're whining about not having a vacation because you're a supervillain, so what's stopping you? And then he sings a song about it. Well, whatever. By the way, did you catch that? His reflection in the river? It should have been mirrored. You know, I can't believe I figured out this error, even when I'm still clinging for dear life after spending nearly 3 hours in LarryBoy Purgatory. Wow. Here we go. And this was me using Movie Maker. Anyway, back to the story. Beezer is mad that Moe Tato is on his lawn. Go figure. So what's the logical solution? Hire another supervillain to take on this supervillain. You know, I'm too tired to argue with that because it's stupid. By the way, this new villain is called Yambot. And honestly, I like this guy. He looks pretty cool with the crazy hair and the costume, though the glitches in his speech and him acting like a schizophrenic are questionable. Nonetheless, I like this new villain. I hope he'll be in Season 5. If there is a Season 5. So Yambot had to personally escort the hobos, I mean, Moe Tato and his minions, from Beezer's lawn, but then, big shock, he kicks Beezer out of his own mansion. Well, what'd you think was gonna happen, Beezer? So Beezer gets LarryBoy to help him stop Yambot. Now, here's the outcome. Are you ready to hear it? Listen. There's no fight scene, no comeuppance, nothing. They just kill him with kindness. And that's pretty much it. They give him drawings, they offer him a glass of water, and they give him a hug.
I'd love to stay, but I am putting this guy behind bars.
The end. Honestly, I'd rather watch this episode over and over before watching anything else, because it offered something new to the series, which was Yambot. Now I'm really praying for a Season 5. I'm so glad that Larry Boy and the Bad Apple was on TBN's Smile of a Child channel because that movie was refreshing after binge watching these episodes of Veggietales in the House. Now, if you combine these episodes as a whole, you'll see that 3 different directors and 5 different writers were involved in creating LarryBoy Purgatory. Tim Hodge, the director of Larry Boy and the Bad Apple, directed the stories The Campout, Ready for Action, The Imposters, Jimmy Boy, oh my gosh, really? And Moe Tato, which was surprising because I only enjoyed 2 episodes that he directed, which were The Campout and Moe Tato. Now, with that being said, if I was to order these episodes from my most favorite to my least favorite, it would go as follows. Yambot, The Campout, Moe Tato, Rise of Night Pony, Moe Tato Gets a Job, Monster Manners, Space Tato, Jenna Chive Live, Ready for Action, The Imposters, Takeosaurus, and last and definitely least, Jimmy Boy. I made the episode Yambot number 1 on the list because it introduced a new concept and had potential despite its obvious flaws. I would definitely watch that one again and not the bottom 5 combined. Speaking of the bottom 5, Jimmy Boy was the worst episode of the bunch because unlike Rise of Night Pony, Jimmy did virtually nothing to become a superhero. I mean, with Night Pony, it at least shows you that she was proactive when confronting the problem, but Jimmy is superhero? Look, he's already proven in the League of Incredible Vegetables, besides Junior, that he can't do it. The superhero concept was... It just didn't work, and neither does this Jimmy Boy episode. Guys, it'll take a while for me to recover from LarryBoy Purgatory, but seriously, LarryBoy, come back. So this is my 2-part review of LarryBoy Purgatory, the not LarryBoy episodes. By the way, this took a really long time to make, so here's a link to part 1 if you haven't seen that yet. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked this video, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe. And please leave a like on part 1 as well. And on that note, this has been the LarryBoy Fanatic, the eyes and plunger ears of the LarryBoy universe. See you guys!